Well, hello there, everybody. It's your wonderful windmate, your cruise ship captain, chatreuseproxy, ever at your service. Tonight, I am back from being away for who knows how long it's honestly been. I have not streamed for like the entire month of October, just about, except for like 2 salmon run streams. But I'm back, I'm in town, and we are just a bit chillin', having ourselves a good time. And by we, well, that's mostly because I might have a few friends joining me today. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hello! It is me, Zoe. I am here very last minute. Was not told that I could maybe join and chat about AWA until about 10 minutes ago. But I am here. I just actually booted up my stream as well, because I think Cruzy here is going to be playing Cook Serve Delicious. I'm just going to be playing some Splatoon. But I believe we're both just going to be vibing and chatting about our weekend.
Yeah.
And I am actually about to mute myself and introduce myself to my stream. Unless you also want to join. It's up to you.
Well, I'll mute. I'll wait for you then. We're both starting together.
Still gotta go down the checklist of things. Just kidding. Alrighty, I am unmuting.
I'll wait.
Oh, I love Splatoon music. Oh, and I see Astra just joined. Hello! Hey,
Hello.
I believe my stream, I just turned on the sound. Hello, I am Zoe. Very, very impromptu. One might even call it a guerrilla stream. But I am here with a couple of my friends that I went to Anime Weekend Atlanta with. I'm mostly just going to be playing Splatoon, but the majority of this stream is actually just going to be us talking about our weekend and potential future cosplay plans. So, thanks for tuning in. And, friends, if you want, you can go ahead and introduce yourselves. As I make your icons bigger.
Your wonderful windmates, your cruise ship captain, chatreuseproxy, ever at your service. I've said my intro twice now, more than any other words. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing?
Hello. It's everyone's favorite cat boy, Astra Tia,
Yes.
here to
Everybody's
chat
favorite.
about the weekend.
And by association of my friends that I have, you're my default. Because you're the only cat boy I know, so congrats, you are the default favorite. Smile.
I don't know how to feel about this.
You win by default, the best way of winning.
You win by default.
To quote Homer Simpson, yes! Default! My favorite way to win! But yeah, we are just a bit showing. I'm just here to do my Crit Serve Delicious as always, but as we all know, that's my perfect game to just AFK and get to talk about life and everything with, and totally not get mad at whenever I mess up a birthday, because that's exactly what I'm always doing, but that's aside from the point. Yeah, we'll be all good to go on that, don't you think? I say that, I'm looking at responses and I see, oh yeah, you're playing Splatoon. Yeah, I think I'll just carry the conversation for us, no prob.
I'm so bad. Oh, it's not about... Oh, die. Sorry. Yes, I'm playing Splat Zones. I think you're more than welcome to kind of lead the topics, because I'm definitely mostly just, I might switch to Salmon Run, actually.
Smile. Don't worry, not everybody is blessed with being able to talk and entertain at the same time. I know. I have 2 years of experience over you on this. You don't have
Okay, so my experience can be summarized as it was stressful, then it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't. But all of the stress was good, I promise.
All right, chef.
Are you talking about the trip, or are you talking about your game of Splatoon?
Both. Wait, mostly about the trip. So, I didn't actually end up cosplaying, which I didn't really decide that I was gonna do until maybe about 2 days before the con. Before the con, I was mostly busy helping both Cruzy and, my friend Mary, earlier, trying to get their cosplays together. And then we decided, oh yeah, okay, let's also do Splatoon cosplay. And then I think that was too much. I think after I had already planned out my schedule and decided, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is how it's gonna go, I should not have succumbed to the insanity. Because that was awful.
To come to the insanity. Well, first and foremost, I think we should define what succumbing to the insanity is for uneducated viewers at the moment here. Let's be honest.
Once you have your cosplay schedule, just stick to it. Don't decide to add more things randomly because you can and you're excited with your friends, and don't let them convince you to do insanity.
So for a more sane take on what we're talking about here, Kiri at Boy on Cosplay, especially so one of our close and dear friends, she is a cosplay wizard, and by that I mean she literally made some magic and just somehow made it's like, I want to make this cosplay, and then makes it within like a day and a half, and I'm not even kidding. We literally have the timestamps for stuff.
Yeah, like her Sothis cosplay. I mean, this is Fire Emblem Sothis was done in a matter of days. Days.
It would, like, I literally have the time logs, and that's because I'm using it as a reference point. He posted in our cosplay Discord, I want to cosplay Sothis. 2.5 days later, I've cosplayed Sothis. And also, I already messed up my first day, so that's a bad sign for things to come. But yeah, it's usually just kind of like, I'm cosplaying Sothis now, deal with it, and it's like, what? You're cosplaying Sothis? You already did that? There's no ifs, ands, or buts? You already just did it?
It's like, wait, it's already done? This isn't like a work in progress?
Yeah. That was so. And it was just
She's
like,
a very good inspiration, though.
Definitely so. But also, I feel like it's sort of like flashes of inspiration when it comes to her. Because it's like, for me, I think I'm the more measured of us. Where it's like, alright, here's my tentative plan, here's how I'm going to do it, here's my daily progress. She's a cryptid. He is honestly a cryptid. She just kind of does it. And it's like, it's done. Or like, the deed is done. I have now conquered this cosplay. And it's like, what are you smoking to have this done already?
You're all frosting.
You know?
No cake.
But then again, I'm the one that's kind of like, you know what? Let's go insane, and I'm already planning another cosplay for local Japanese festival that's gonna go on in our town this weekend. 4 days from now. I don't know if anybody saw my tweet before stream, but I'm already planning out another thing I need to 3D print, which actually I need to get more filament.
More filament, you say?
Yes. More weight. I need to make yes, I'll use the filament to print the filament.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, I need to get more filament, because although I can print small projects, which thank goodness I just have to like print Shiver's amulet really, and that's really it. It's like, yeah, I honestly could use more filament. I mean, well, for like bigger projects, because I can only print like maybe for like 30 minutes at a time with what I currently have for my stuff.
Ready?
Now, granted, at the same time too, when it comes to that end of things, it kind of helps to measure me out, but also, well, I didn't honestly spend as much as some people that I know have at some conventions, and to be fair, I really just spent on autographs, which I already knew what I was getting myself into at AWA this year, so it's like, I didn't actually dent my bank account too much. Like, this has honestly been one of the conventions where I spent the least amount at all. Is that?
I definitely didn't spend too much on merch.
Well, let's put something out here. A convention is usually, especially anime convention or so, is usually when we have, you know, lots of things to do. We have photo shoots to attend. We have panels to see, concerts to watch and whatever. I know that they were recording the Idol concert, but holy crap, was that amazing, for instance or so. There's the game room. There's the dealer's hall. There's like, they had the entire Karatasha cosplay section of the dealer's room and everything like that, so, and it was super cool. This is like so many things. But the dealer's hall is always, of course, you get your merch, you see all the cool stuff, maybe you buy a super overpriced anime figurine because it's overseas and whatever. This slime over here, humanoid slime, I should say.
Yes, I have PNG tuber now. Courtesy of sorry, yes.
Sorry.
Don't make fun of how I spent my weekend, okay?
I was just gonna be mean and just say, in what is a 4-day convention, which 4 days is, you know, higher than the norm, you decide to not go into the dealer's room until Sunday when we're not even sure if we're going back on Sunday?
I didn't even go into the dealer's room on Sunday.
All I can
Very
think of
saddening.
is
Did you not
just
hear? Yeah, I spent my entire weekend in the arcade room. So for those who do not know, I am really into rhythm games, especially those Japanese arcade rhythm games. My preferred ones are U-Beat, also pronounced U-Beat, and then Taiko, the drum game.
Mhm.
So they had both, and yep, that was my weekend. That was my weekend.
Yep. I can attest I was there, didn't witness, was funny, didn't laugh.
Oh.
But the main thing that very much so perplexes me onto this end is okay, first and foremost, anytime that I'm just thinking about this now, just because I was playing through the games, you know that Vocaloid song, Nightclub Junkie? All I'm just thinking of is just Rhythm Game Junkie now. And I'm just
All right,
associating it with
Show me what you
you.
got.
Cue like the whiplash sound effect and the pointing meme. Rhythm Game Junkie. But who am I to really talk about it, because I'm also in that camp. But I'm also sane and balanced my time out instead of only going there. Like,
No such
I'm
thing as valid.
honestly impressed that you didn't go in the dealer's room at all.
Meanwhile, I lived in there.
They didn't notice me.
I mean, yeah. Like, but once again, it is just, like, I'm not ashamed. I'm just impressed. Also, rip to you, Calvin, on your loss streak. That,
Monkey, I
really
see you
sucks.
said turn my mic up. I think I'm going to... I can't actually turn my mic up anymore, so I'm just going to turn the game down a little bit. And pray that that makes it a little better.
Well, hopefully so. Well, I hope that it does make it better. Also,
I get lost in the
Makavaz, what
music.
is that comment earlier about, Splat Me Mommy?
Hey, I didn't say it out loud. Okay, yeah. Maki said splat on me, mommy. And all I'm saying is if Astra over here says something like that during fun times, I don't honestly know what I would do.
Fun times? Okay, let's pause so we don't get demonetized any more than this right now.
I don't know who you mean by we. No, you're right.
Nothing.
Maki, I'm not reading that out loud. But
Dang
in
it.
private.
Now I gotta open the chat so I can see what's being said.
You should open the chat regardless.
Like,
No,
that's
yes.
what, so you can count as a viewer for the analytics? Excuse me? Not supporting your partner? Oh my goodness. What kind of a person are you to not support
I'll
your
do the
partner
private.
in a time of need like this?
Alright, I am a viewer. I'm in the chat. I'm here to drop money.
Oh, I will say, speaking of drop money, I remember back when little Astra here, and this is Final Fantasy XIV story time, I was the one who got him into that game, because I was like, hey, you know, I've played MMOs before, and this one's pretty fun, you might like it. He had never played an MMO before, so he was really scared. Almost quit the game pre-level 30, like maybe level 24, 25. Those who have played know that's honestly kind of a slog.
Yeah.
And we both continued. I almost quit there too. Now he's actually found his own static. He's part of a raid group. He's working on the P8S clear right now. And it's just amazing how far this man has come. Woo! Can't believe I got that kill.
Amazing.
He also spent his weekend buying Final Fantasy XIV merch.
I mean,
Yeah.
are we
I did
really
buy a
going to
couple of
blame?
things.
Are we really going to blame there at all? Because I feel like that would be par for the course more than anything.
I only bought a couple of items and
A couple? Yeah, what kind of items, huh? What did you buy?
I bought a charm.
How
Okay,
much did it amount
and?
to? That's the question.
I bought maybe 4 art books.
Four art books.
Okay, let me put this out here that art books, especially depending on especially so when you're buying them at conventions, they're either for an actual amazing bargain, like when I got the Art of Apex Legends for, I'm not kidding you, 25 bucks. Or they can be super, you know, pricey, because probably it's like overseas or so, and you're not gonna see it any other place. Hey, Nestra, how much was each art book individually? I want to ask that right now.
They were actually
Money,
retail
bro,
price.
chill, please.
They were actually just regularly retail price, so
Send them in the
$40
DMs.
each. which sounds like a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's no different than just buying them at the store.
I mean, okay, well in that case, then you lucked out. Let's be honest here. But you still spent a good amount of money. Was it worth it? Smile.
Well, you say I lucked out, but if it costed more than that, I probably wouldn't have bought these. I'm gonna be honest.
But you have to know, the con high makes you be like, I can't miss out, my FOMO, I have to buy this right now, Smile.
No, not me.
He's stronger than the entire US Marines. I feel like I should get a commendation. And maybe, like, I leave on life for cosplaying 5 days in a row.
I could barely do, like, 5 hours. And mine was a simple cosplay.
Well, maybe I'm just built differently.
Your proficiency
Oh my God.
is unmatched. Let's do that again.
Overall, I am really happy though with my decision not to cosplay. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, both crews use Emma's cosplay, and then my friend Mary, her Rainbow Dash cosplay. I helped them make really large portions of
I
that.
still need to see that photo shoot. I really want to see
with who, Mary?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't even do a photo shoot. It's on my Twitter somewhere. I took very impromptu, kind of casual photos. Okay, so that Rainbow Dash wig, low-key, I think I'm more proud of that than my Zoe wig that I made, because the Rainbow Dash wig actually took me 2 weeks. I had to do, I think, 5 colors. This wasn't like a regular Rainbow Dash the pony. This was specifically the Rainbow Dash by Shoujo from, what is it called? Equestrian Girls? So the way that
I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's it.
yeah, so the way that the hair is dyed on that is a lot different. Like, if you scroll on my Twitter, it's on there. Actually,
Hey,
I will
everybody, we should
probably
post,
at some point.
You should post
wait, yeah?
Zoe's Twitter in chat right now to promote. Hey, everybody.
I mean, it's not high up there because, you know, Calm was a few days ago.
Oh, I think you
We
just
took
have
the
to
picture on Saturday.
tweet yourself and get that free interactability, Smile.
That's...
Don't
see,
you
I hate it
dare
when
say
he-
that's a lot of work. It's literally
know, I
5
know.
button clicks. 1 to open
But
a window, 2 to get to your
inking.
profile.
I'm inking! Look, I will post it later too. I am actually planning on, if people were interested, I have never seen a wig for that style Rainbow Dash the way I made it. So if enough people were interested, I was thinking about trying to make a tutorial for it. Because the way I did it was very, what's the word? I don't think impromptu or spontaneous is right. But like, I had to figure out that shit on my own. There were no other tutorials I could follow in that style. Oh my god! In that style, just because like normal Rainbow Dash, people kind of, if you have multiple colors, you might like dip dye it, and so every color has a horizontal layer. But her hair colors, I had to design kind of like a beach ball. And so everything that I did, I just kind of had to figure out. But it looks really good. When I first saw her, I almost cried. When she first wore it, she said she almost cried. The colors
When
are
I
so
first
vibrant.
saw it, I wanted to try it. It's like, holy crap. It's like, I'm not kidding when I say this, but it's like when I first saw it, it was literally just kind of like, kept looking back at the pictures. And I was like, how the hell does this look like, you know, like, what's the word that I used when I was talking to Carrie about it? It's like, it pops out, like, so much. And like, I mean, it's like, the colors, the vibrance, it's kind of like, this is real life. This is what it would look like if it's in real life. It's so damn good. And just knowing all the progress that led to that and everything, you know? It's like...
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I
You're always
appreciate
amazing, Smile.
The fact that that blaster didn't kill me makes me sad. But it's also, when I play blaster, I'm that blaster. It was me.
We take those.
I'm the bad blaster.
We take those.
Yeah, so I will say at some point, with both you, Carrie, and Mary, if their names actually rhyme, why am I just now noticing that? I do want to take you guys somewhere and do like actual good photos where we get to show off all the craftsmanship. Because that's something about our friend group, in case people watching like don't know or haven't figured it out. For the vast majority of the stuff that we did for AWA, we made it. And I know a lot of us prefer making our own stuff. So even if it looks kind of scuffed, it is handmade. Ah! if you see Mary's Rainbow Dash, like, she made that jacket. That was not a bought jacket. She bought anti-pill fleece and made that jacket and almost cried over that jacket because the fucking zipper. The zipper doesn't even work. But it's okay.
No, let's not talk about zippers again on stream unless we trigger somebody.
The somebody is me. The somebody is 100% me.
I was whispering that would be you.
Yeah, I tried making an invisible zipper for just like a dress that I made that I don't think I really posted, but it was just like a for fun dress.
Yeah.
I almost threw the zipper against the wall.
Was it fun?
No.
Congratulations!
I mean, yes, but like I literally, this dress was probably 90% made. The only things I had left to do was attach the zipper and then pen it. That was it. And the zipper almost made me quit the whole fucking thing. It was so bad.
And so, especially so when it comes to like all of our stuff, like getting back to like the initial topic or so. But yeah, of course we're gonna buy the things that we can't control. Like, I'm sorry that human race was born with a skill issue of not having multicolored anime hair, but we just have to buy that stuff. Unless you're like Jadder, who just is like, haha, my dyed hair actually fits the occasion perfectly, in which case actually we just got skill dipped. What can I say? But aside from that, especially so, like, yeah, it's so much cooler to be able to see like how much you can stretch those limits of creativity and be able to make those things homemade. Because of course, there's nothing wrong with with buying cosplay. I mean, lots of costumes, like every single Genshin Impact costume is just going to be bought basically, and I could do like a casual one or so, which I saw a lot of. And it's really cool and creative, and it's lovely because I saw a lot of casual bit of sucrose and haha. I love my sucrose, so
They were
that
all
crack
cute.
is pretty good, Smile, but
Every sucrose is cute.
Every
I think that's
sucrose
just, I know nothing about Genshin, and I probably will never play. All I know is that every sucrose I saw was cute. I was like, damn.
yes, sucrose is so cute, and I love her, and I stand her so much so, but
We're the best
getting back to the
pack
point
ever.
especially so, it's like, it's so much cooler to get to, like, make so much of your own stuff, like, I know I've already always talked about it, but like for me, one big thing about my cosplay is like, not only is it, yeah, homage, love letter, being able to say, yeah, I'm cosplaying this person because I love them, I stand them, and I want to be able to embody them as best as I can, because, you know, imitation is the best form of flattery, or whatever crap that saying is, I can't remember. But especially so, if I'm going to cosplay the character, I'm going to do them as much justice as I can. And also, if there's going to be a million other cosplayers of that same character, what can I do to differentiate myself and make myself be happy with what I've done, and also be memorable for anybody that sees, which is why I am super heavy into the prop department when it comes to making these things. Also,
Yes.
my theater experience might also have a huge impact on my mindset of just, I need to have something to carry around at all times. But that's just me.
I definitely love props. Hello? Oh, never mind. I'm bad. Ah, I got him. Okay, it's fine. I do like props. Like, I like being recognized, but I also like kind of putting my own spin on things or making sure that I, like you, are memorable. I'm very proud of my Zoe cosplay, but it's also partially because when I look at Zoe cosplayers, I don't see too many, or the ones that I do, while they still look lovely, there's just certain things that I'm like, ooh, I wish that that was done, like, I want to do that differently if I make my own. That's my ability.
What are you? Like,
The Spider-Man. Okay. I got one splat, it's fine.
I mean, hey, that's more than what you need. Yes, back to your point about wanting to put your own spin on things. Or if you're concentrating, then I can pick things up. You good?
No!
I have no idea what's going on, and I fear for
Okay.
the insane laughter, whether it be a good or a
Okay,
bad thing.
imagine a tri-stinger and a charger looking at you, and you're an octobus, and you're just walking in S shapes, and they're missing.
Smile.
It's just funny. Going back to what you were saying on the store-bought cosplay, I am very happy that cosplay is a lot more accessible to people nowadays. but I also find that it sucks sometimes just when people look at your costume and they just assume you bought things, you know? Like, Mary put a lot of time and effort into her jacket. And I know for a fact that if you look at it, a lot of people would probably just assume it's store-bought. Which could be a compliment in and of itself, but I also wish that... I think it just comes down to kind of like consumerism. I think what I really don't like is just the whole kind of like fast fashion aspect that seems to have infected the cosplay community a little bit, because people don't see as much value anymore in having an outfit that you wear multiple times, like over and over and over. Oh, Mary is asking, yeah, you can play Splatoon with me if you want. We're also, if you just showed up, we're also just kind of chatting about the weekend. Oh wait, and Tilo Camp is Mary, so whenever I talk about Mary and her Rainbow Dash, that is the person. So shout out to T. I can't really like give her a shout out because, well, for Twitch. Wait, let me find your Twitter.
I was about to say, you technically can by just
Yes.
finding their socials. And also, you should probably also give them a mod role or a VIP in chat so that that way they're more exalted. Smile.
Oh my god. Mary, you retweet too many things. I want to show off your thing.
That's right.
That is Mary's Twitter, and I'm looking for that Rainbow Dash post. I'm committed now.
But also, like, getting back to things about it, like, it brought like one funny, I say one funny, but it's more of just a sad thing more than anything that I've seen. Of like, I remember seeing how like on that on your tangent. No, this is just like a side tangent of a tangent about like, oh, that's so good. Was it store bought? I remember seeing like one artist that I follow getting super like dejected because like they posted an art piece that like looked wonderful and whatever. And you wanna know what like the top 2 comments
We are
were?
nearing the next stop.
What?
This was AI generated, right? Like, oh no.
Oh.
And like the person who said that, at the very least, they didn't like they apologized and they didn't mean it in bad faith. But that's right, you don't just say that to them, dude. That is actually like spirit crushing, especially with everything going on. But on to happier
Sweet, I
passes,
found it.
especially so. Right, everybody's cosplays went wonderfully. Honestly, like the thing that I'm super surprised about is that being able to put everything on, like cosplay-wise and all, I did not honestly have too many problems. I only had a mishap the last day, which was with my Emma cosplay, just a few things falling apart. But I kind of expected that. It's a lot of things are just ramshackle. Of like, look, I'm expecting to wear this one day, and that's it. So I'll be happy with as far as I can get with it. And to be fair, I brought that crap home. I rocked it the whole time. And also, well, I didn't damage my feet enough, considering I wore heels for it, because I wanted to just go crazy for the last day. But let's not talk about that. Otherwise, Zoe will probably get mad at me at the fact that I still brought the heels.
Yeah, no, that was insane to me. You will never catch me wearing heels, like, even just to walk around. Like, I don't do them.
We don't do that here.
Heels are bad. And
But who else is gonna keep you alive? Mile?
I've never used a Splattershot Pro. Like, I respect people who wear them. I just... Oh my god. Oh, wait.
Respect me, Smile.
Mary's asking to be let in the VC. You might have to, She is not. She is joining now, maybe. Oh god, Mary wants to talk about fast fashion in the cosplay community!
I'm done. Just let me finish this day right now. Kind of in the middle of working my food shift, Smile. Alright, so the sauce folded. Butter thread sauce folded up.
Do that.
I mean, a typing game really has to take all my attention sometimes. But I'll add you in just a little bit. Sauce folded.
Onion sauce.
I'm making heroes right now. Eat onions, fries, sauce folded. I'm losing every game with Salmon Run. Rest in peace, my dude. I Rest in peace. But okay, you are joining Gale Force. Be sure to, of course,
Chef,
get
we
your
have
roles,
never been prouder of
and
you.
then I will
I
add
mean,
in friend of
But there's
Gale
still room
Force.
for improvement.
Here you go. You have to read the rules and then react, and then you'll get everything else. But I didn't want to think this must be so. Cosplay's insane. I'm insane. I still feel like that fatigue on my head, you know, after taking a wig off, because, you know, it's like another, like, 2-3 pounds on your head, and I don't know why I still didn't cosplay.
Didn't expect that, did ya?
But I'm kind of insane with it, you know? Anyway, I did not expect this. But hello, Raiders! Green Marina! Thank you for coming on by. Let me give that shout out. Please do follow them and give them all the love. Thank you for coming on by, and as always, it's your wonderful wingmate, your cruise ship captain, chatreuseproxy, ever at your service. What were you doing, friend? What were you doing today? Let me check.
My heart is
Also,
singing.
hello, Mary. Welcome to the chat. You're really quiet.
More
So-
treats of delicious for
I
you
wasn't
too
saying
as
anything.
well.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, all good. I'm just dealing with the raid. I say dealing with. No, that paints it in a negative light. We all love
No,
raids.
yeah, you're doing like professional things. I'm just here for shits and giggles.
Professional things.
Don't you
Professional
know?
streamer things.
Cruz is a professional content. Oh my god! What? I'm
Oh.
sorry, I just
What
got
the
hit in the
hell?
face with a crossbow. Also, Mary, keep in mind that Cruzy is Stream and Cook Serve Delicious. This isn't really like a Splatoon focused stream so much as it is a chatting stream. So I'm
Oh.
trying to keep like my reactions down unless something crazy happens, like the Tri-Stinger
Okay.
one shots me
I
randomly.
mean, I was about to say too that it's like we're just talking about the convention and everything right now, you know? I'm here for
Oh,
Booba Please.
yeah.
Thank you, Maki. Very cool. I'm not gonna zoom in because that would actually probably demonetize me. Smile.
Yeah, conventions. I've heard of those.
Yeah, just playing Crit Serve Delicious, which is a Titan game more than anything. Oh, I want to challenge myself. I absolutely love this game. I just hit your mode on this game, lol. I miss the old cruiser. What do you mean the old one? Unless we played in the Smash scene, I don't know what the heck you're talking about with the old stuff. You kidding me? Shut up, bestie. What are you talking about? I just hit your mode on this old cruiser zoomed in on Booba. I did that once,
Oh my god.
unironically, and that was just because it was like, haha, Halloween model. I'm showing off my new stuff. But yes, more Crit Serve Delicious stands. I cannot wait to Crit Serve forever. I am so ready for it. The fact that I played on stream 1, 2, and of course, I completed 3, but now I'm just gold medaling everything. I am so ready for Crit Serve forever. And also, I still can't get over how Chubbagins did visit me one day on stream. I'm gonna watch that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. But look, it's good, fun stuff. And I will flex whatever I can. Yeah, I did beat it last time I streamed it, but that was like I was about to say a year ago, that's the wrong word, a month ago, and I only got a bronze. But now I just want to do my usual Crit Serve thing of gold medal everything.
Oh, what? Sorry.
You good? But anyway,
good.
we included you here, Mary, and also I love your Joseph plush.
Thank you.
We
I
included
should-
you
I
here
should have
on
that
chat
plush.
so that we could
Oh,
talk
speaking
about...
of people who spent ridiculous amounts on just one thing, hello, Mary.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
You and Astra both went ham over like your
Well, okay. So
obsessions.
let's not.
I-
So first of all,
I spent a moderate amount of money.
A moderate amount. Okay, what's your definition of a moderate amount of money, huh? I
Oh,
think the
Jesus.
silence is already telling.
$200.
Maki came back to my chat since there was no booba given.
Are you kidding me,
Oh my
Maki?
God.
You can literally look, I don't know, the bottom right, and depending on if you're on mobile, you can literally zoom in on that. You freaking idiot.
I cannot
Dude, don't
believe
tell him that. You give him too much power.
Well, here's the thing. I got to give some incentive for people to come back to my stream. Ooh woo. Am I right?
Rest assured, I already know. Should I actually, oh god, actually don't do that. Should I actually decide to bite the bullet and get a V2 model? Low-key, I'm a fan of the chibi styles because for me, like, I'm not trying to necessarily turn streaming into like, oh, you know, I want to be a big VTuber. Like, it's just fun. And if I'm the one that has to stare at the art all the time, it's really cute. And chibis are cute.
Okay, no, I didn't say that.
But you really should not add booba to chibi. It makes it less cute.
Okay, yeah, what I was about to say, there is not a time or a place for that ever, so let's just keep it at that. Shall we, everybody? Because especially so, I've seen some bad controversy over, like, you know,
You do not have to go
I'm
to
gonna say,
Thank
you know how
Thank
there's
you.
plus size? I'm just gonna say when there's minus size models with bad proportions. Let's just keep it at that. I'm not gonna name names, mostly because I can't even remember the names of like the people like that or so. But especially so, like, yeah, I've seen some real bad stuff in my time.
Going back a little bit to talking about Buddy.
Oh, better not.
So the characters I'm fans of are either from series that not a lot of people have heard of, at least in America, or they're from popular media, but they're like the underrepresented. Oh, how did that not kill anybody? Okay. But anyway, so I think I spent probably more than $200, but in my defense.
Oh my god!
Well, in my defense, I really don't do anything with the money that I like work for. Like, I don't go out a whole lot, I don't spend a whole lot, so I'm like, I like being able to save up so that way when stuff like cons do happen, I can buy whatever I want without having to worry.
I mean, fair to an extent, because I've told this story before to Zoe, but I'll tell it again because, you know, stream hasn't heard it. But I remember it's like my parents one day were really like, Cruzy, you know that you can spend the money that you're earning from your job and not just immediately put it into your savings? And I was like, what for? I mean, I'm really only spending like conventions whenever. And they're like, you can do something called treat yourself? Question mark? And I was super confused and perplexed. Like, I'm going to treat myself in time. But otherwise, it's like, no, yeah, because I'm one of those people to where it's like, my savings is my savings, and by that I mean I am never touching it in my life unless I have to.
Oh, I died.
Then it's like, all right, where's it's like somebody help my budgeting savings, 80% of my money. What's the other 20% of my paycheck? Going to pay back the credit card bills, and that's it. Somebody help!
Yeah,
I'm not taking care of my own finances when it comes to recreation. Maybe save less? No. Hey, Sawyer. Finally won a round. Nice job, Calvin. Congratulations. I think I finally got up to professional.
Oh, don't look at that. Please don't look at that.
Oh, you know, you definitely talked about the player behind me, and I definitely just missed you talking about the player behind me.
No,
I'm surprised when they showed up.
I was talking about my wasted special, but go off.
Oh yeah, I should also say, because Zoe is streaming as well, do visit her. She is playing, you know, Splat of the Toons at the moment.
Splatoonery buffoonery is what I like to call it.
Splatoonery buffoonery. You know, that's a good point right there.
That blue bomb is going somewhere.
I mean, hey, no.
Can't be
That was really good. I got nothing to say about it. But we're just, you know, it's more of just a chilling stream, and we're talking about our time at AWA more than anything, so it's pretty relaxed. Plus, that's also the vibes of my stream all the time anyway, so if you have a problem with that, why are you here? Go watch Zoe instead. Smile.
You came very close.
Yeah. Now we're like literally just chilling. Anyway, back to the con. Maybe, unless you had anything else you wanted to wrap up saying, Cruzy.
Nah. I was just kind of like outlining more of just kind of like that whole savings thing. But that was a small side story to a larger tangent more than anything.
I got 3.
Go on,
as much as I want to be good with the dualies, I've accepted that I'm probably not going to be good with anything but shooters. Which is fine. I've accepted it. I think I definitely, again, spent my entire weekend in the arcade room. And, oh yeah, it was great. I got a high score. My very final play was playing my favorite song. If anyone knows what these rhythm games are, U-Beat, Do-Beat, however you want to say it, and then Taiko. U-Beat's probably my best one. But I got a high score on Night of Nights. I think I hit an 80% on the 10, it's either a 10.2 or a 10.3. I was so happy. And it wasn't until I was done that Asher here was like, yeah, so you had like 5 people watching you. One guy went bug-eyed, and I was like, yes, that's why I play!
It was so funny.
Because I of course couldn't see any of them, and when I turned around, you know, like, they didn't have those faces anymore. But just hearing Asher talk about him was pretty funny.
His mouth was open and everything.
I think my favorite thing, like rhythm game wise, from for us is that when we finished doing our last Taiko run of limit testing, you remember that? The 2 poor people behind us in the Taiko line were like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to live up to this, and I had to like visibly calm them down. I'm like, look, we're
like,
junkies here. You're playing for fun, right? You're playing for fun, right? And they're like, yeah, then have fun. Don't have any expectations now. And they're like, yeah, I guess I'll do that. Oh my goodness, just seeing them be so flustered. That's like, you're telling us that we're the follow-up act to you? On a side
I'm like,
note,
look, just play. We all start somewhere. I started playing Taiko like earlier this year? Wait, yeah, actually, I had my training arc out of all places in the bathroom because I have Taiko on the Switch, right? And so what I would do is the Switch version is pretty much the same as the arcade version. So I would just take it with me every time I went to poop.
yeah.
So
Now,
you just get better.
done with a little
10
less
minutes
of
of
that
practice every
information.
day.
We only you're talking about doing number 2 right in front of my food truck? But
I mean, where do you think the food comes out?
Hey, let's switch topics.
so anyway, that was a real good stream, everybody. Thank you all for joining. First and foremost, let me interrupt the cadence we have right in here to say, Slayer, thank you for the 1 year you have subscribed to me so far. A Prime subscription. I don't know why the notif didn't go off, but 1 whole year on the cruise ship with me. Oh, mama. Thank you for supporting me always. You are wonderful to have around, and just once again, I hope you've always enjoyed your stay with me. Or if you didn't, I don't know why you're here. Go watch Zoe. That's gonna be the running joke now that I have.
I spent a lot of time
You do the
in the
cooking,
deal. Well,
I'll
obviously, I
do the
spent time in the
driving.
deal.
Oh, wait.
But,
Let
go ahead.
me interrupt this real quick. While you're bragging about that, I am so like slightly salty and disappointed in myself because the last play I had on Muska, I got an 89, like
Oh yeah, you were aiming for that
90, 40 something. I was so close to getting a freaking A on Uncensored, and I didn't get it. Ah! I was so close to getting it. It makes me so sad. Ah, well, I'll get it another time. But at the same time, too, it's also just like, it should have been done, you know? It was almost there.
See, the problem is once you hit that 90, you would have wanted a 95. And then you would have wanted a 98.
What? Me being a pad gamer? Are you kidding me? From playing, what's his face? From playing Pump all the time and whatever, a pass is a pass, because you get to continue playing. Because, you know, like, for most pad games, by pad I mean, like, you know, like, people think like Just Dance, I play Pump It Up, which is the 5 directions, all the diagonals and the center button or so. Especially at the arcade where I played, where we actually have like a good enough group or so. You get to actually play 3 songs, you know, but if you have your account card, and like, if you're playing like without the account card or whatever, like most conventions do, you can fail out your songs and still continue to play. But for our machine that we have in our town and whatever, stuff like that or so, if you have your account card, yeah, you get everything unlocked or so, but if you fail out, yeah, your play's over. You can fail out the first 2 seconds of your first song and, oh, congrats, your play's over, back to the end of the line with you. And it's like, no, please, my play! My play!
On, stat... Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's cool. Just real quick, after this play, if you want, I have like a bunch of team, like, money up tickets that we could use.
The what? Oh, for this game. I was like, crap, I want real money. But that works, no.
Money.
I'm bad!
I was about to say, hey
Well,
yo,
it's okay, I
why
still
were you
somebody.
late to your job
you're
today?
good.
I'm sorry, I was still drinking my Inquisistance up drink today. Your what?
I was like, money tickets? Hello? You can let me earn more money from work? I like it!
It's not really from work, but okay. But I spent a little time. I spent a little time in the game room because they had a talking music cabinet. And the nice thing was because the other cabinets are like really popular, really paid attention to Poppin' music.
Poppin's a little bit of an older game.
So I still saw a few like people there, but like especially so the 8 peers, like they had some of the best, like the more crowded machines, of course, were like definitely like the what am I trying to say? The tune rhythm and like the sit down games where it's like kind of like the on the rails shooter. I didn't even get a chance to play it. There's like 5 peoples with Batpats there, and it's like I know for a fact they're all there just for like that 1 or 2 machines. So I never got a chance to touch it, and honestly, rightfully so. Whereas, like, for example, like, they always put Musta and, what's his face? Musta and Sound Voltex always together in, like, almost every convention I go to. And just of that, the lines are almost always shared by the same 8 peers all the time. So it's kind of like, once I finish my play in Musta, I'm just lining up for, like, Sound Voltex immediately after, for instance.
Yeah.
And just that it just kind of like bled in, and not to mention the more popular, like, you know, I say casual machines, but you know, like the ones that will catch the casual attention. So like, of course, you have like that would be like your Taiko, for instance, or your pad games and whatever stuff like that, or so. Those are up front, taking away a lot more people.
I think yeah.
They might have had a Project Diva cabinet, but I didn't see one. But that one usually gets lines because everyone knows how to do.
They had 2 Project Diva cabinets. They had 2 Love Live School Idol Festival cabinets.
I saw
and
that.
I've never seen one in person. And that was like, bro.
There was so much Love Live for sale in the gift room. I was so surprised.
Same, actually.
Because back when I was a Love Live fan, like it was so hard to kind of like find it at cons. Like you would have cosplayers, but you would never have like really merchandise. But there was like there were so many accounts selling official Love Live merchandise. It was like genuinely like, oh my god. Had this happened like maybe like 4 years ago, I would have been. That's where my money would have gone.
What? If there's like, I guess like one section of cosplay, or like one subset of cosplay that I always love seeing the most, is just seeing like anybody wearing Love Live stuff, because the outfits are so flashy and showy, and I love seeing them so much.
The way that they sew them for like the official live shows, like the way they move too, it's just so pretty.
Did you guys get to any fun panels?
Perfect run.
I did!
Because you should totally tell me about them.
Okay, so I went to a few panels.
Oh, and we're backing up.
Okay, yes. The first panel I went to was a Yuri panel of all things. So I don't know if your audience is aware, but I am not straight. I'm a gay
This is a safe for work story, by the way. I've heard it. Don't worry, it's a safe for work story.
Yeah, okay, see that's the thing too, because people assume Yuri is like yaoi, where a lot of the stuff under the tag is like porn. And that's kind of what I was thinking too, but I saw it was an all ages panel, and I'm like, okay, I want to see, I want to see if like what they have to say. And it was a really informative panel. It talked a lot about like the history of it and how it's for I think most of it really wasn't like it wasn't just like a porn category. It was like actual like safe for work stories with like a lot to say. And especially recently, it's kind of like exploded. And so I left it with a lot of stuff that I now want to watch, because I'm like, wow, gay people are everywhere. So that was fun. And then I went to a Georgia panel, and it was because there were some of the Part 5 and Part 6 English readings, and they kind of talked about like retrospective of like having done their stuff, what they kind of got from that. And it was very interesting to listen to them too. It was, are we doing anarchy battles?
If you're down. I'm not as much a fan of Turf War anymore.
I am, but it won't let me join.
Ready?
Is there a cost? I don't know why.
There's no password.
Hang on, if we're doing, I'm gonna get, okay, I got the lava out, we're good. Oh wait, you know what I'm doing? Hang on, I need to go, okay, never mind, I got it.
While y'all are figuring that out, one fun one that I know Kiri especially so was looking forward to was, all the OSHA violations found in Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. Oh geez, that was a fun one. I'm so glad that I got to see the Idol Fest. I guess that's not a panel, because it is more of a festival itself, but the Idol Festival was freaking amazing, and we all had a good time at it.
I forget, I think I wasn't able to see that because I wanted to go to the JoJo panel, and I didn't know if they would, like, let people out of the doors once it started.
So,
Because it was really dark.
they didn't really stop anybody from leaving at any time. It was just more kind of like a, you know, not advised, but heavily requested to not leave, and like basically like people were either getting in the venue or getting out of the venue between songs or between sets, very much so.
Okay. I think I didn't go to that one because I wanted to go to the JoJo one, but had the JoJo one not been a thing, I would have definitely wanted to go to that one because that sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
But it definitely was fun, and I know that they were recording it, so I don't know if that's going to be for private internal use, or like the performance themselves, or if they're going to post it out somewhere.
I don't know. I know when I went to the Mirror Iron panel, because we had like a Q&A sort of thing Saturday, they did let people record. There was one bit they didn't let people record because somebody requested him to do like a little voice line for one of his characters, and obviously not to get him in legal trouble. But the rest of it, they were like fine with people recording.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was unbelievable.
Also, I know this is Anarchy Battle, but this is still like hella casual, okay?
Yeah. I think I want to say for me. So I went to the Mira Iron panel, like, and it was right before his autograph session, and it was really good. A lot of people were there, kind of. It stayed behind the music, but a lot of people were there for his voice, for his characters. I don't know if y'all know, but he voices a character that's pretty popular. A Trome game right now.
Wow, I can't believe they voiced that character from that game. That's really
Yeah,
popular
okay,
right now.
fine. Okay, he voices Asmodeus from Obey Me, who's one of my favorite characters. So I was like there for that, but I also wanted to like talk to him to talk about his music. But there was a lot of questions about that, and I think there was one like bad part of it though. It was like the one bad part, and it was these people who I guess were like really big fans of him, but like especially his character. And he was speaking with an interpreter because like obviously he's Japanese. It's easier to express himself in Japanese. But they were like, so why are you speaking English? And I just kind of like, I heard that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like a part. I'm just like, oh God, why would you ask that? Hello? Do you like not know what it's like to listen? But he was very polite about it, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you really don't have to be polite to these people. Like, God bless you, but.
Well, if there's anything I know from learning Japanese culture from my major turned minor, they will passive aggressivism is the best way of killing a
Yeah. They were also. We saw them in the autograph booth later, and like, me and another friend who doesn't stream, we were both in the line together, and we saw them, and we're like pretty sure that they were like the ghosties, which is not great considering the series is mostly about like it's about demons who are like brothers, so we got weird vibes from them basically. But the rest of it was really nice, especially other people, because we were all in the line for a hot minute, but everyone else was like super nice and sweet, and other than those people, it was a really good experience.
I mean, I was about to say, especially so when it comes to weirdos, yeah, that was an awkward situation, but I've heard, and that's not to discount it, it was still, you know, a bad situation, but
Yeah.
I think the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm glad that was the most of our concern at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was like the only thing that happened, and you know, in that case, I don't know. There's at ND5 like fandom, because I draw a lot for that. They definitely have their fair share of weirdos, and I'm like,
I was about to say, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of fandoms are always going to have their issues. It just comes down to, you know, how involved you are in it, and just like, you know, especially so when it comes to those notable more members. Because, are you kidding me? I'm a Genshin Impact player. If you go on Twitter about it, you're either going to see too many trash shippers, which is why John Chippewa doesn't interact with the fandom, for instance, or everybody else on the outside looking in, kind of like, oh, you mean that pedo game? And it's like, why is this still being touted?
It's like, from what I've seen, it's usually like half people who are like, yeah, I know it sucks, and it's, but like, there's, you know, people who are like, I like it, but I know it kind of like, definitely has its issues. And then people who are like, not aware of the issues and don't acknowledge that there are issues. It's like, that's not really good.
Congratulations.
You can love something while still admitting that it has flaws, and I think that that should become a lot more commonplace.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Oh, sorry, cut you off.
Oh, no, it's okay. I think I don't necessarily want to keep going on this topic because, you know, this is a chill stream, and I would like to keep. I think maybe you should keep positive, but also like, I don't know. This.
Well, I was about to say, let's keep the heavier stuff out of here, or like the more semantic stuff. At least talking about it from a broad scale. Like, especially so when it comes to like nitpicking things, for instance, or so, there's a reason why it's like, especially like, I'll use like one example. This is going on right now, the League of Legends World Championship. Fine was a happening
Yeah, I
in 3
forgot
days.
about that. God dang it.
The final was a
What the
happening.
heck is this beard?
The finals are happening in 3 days.
Wait, no,
and
it's not yours. It's not Cruzy. Because Cruzy uses the fast weekends.
Fast weekends. But
Oh my god! Yo, we might clutch this!
But especially so, like, the point I was gonna bring up is, since the League of Legends World Championship is, you know, at its finals, like, in, like, literally 3 days, one thing that, like, always gets touted around, especially, is, like, balancing, especially in the sense of, oh, like, you know, like, one thing that I always see thrown out for balance is, or thrown out as a, you know, childish internet argument is, they always just balance in favor of the pros. Nobody cares about the pro scene, or like, just because I don't keep up with it, and the fact that they balance around the pros' opinions and whatever is like, it's so BS and whatever, stuff like that or so. But if you love something very much or so, you're gonna want it to be the best form that it can be, and just so that you are going to nitpick at it. Especially so. For like, what's the bad? That way, hopefully, people can fix it and make it all only be good. And that comes with any fandom and everything. It's just that, unfortunately so, when you get the echo chamber that is like social media, is the reason why Twitter is heralded as a cesspool. Granted, a lot of social media websites are heralded as cesspools, but Twitter, especially since, you know, has been the limelight due to many very, very weird acquisitions things. Hello, Elon Musk, what the fuck are you doing online?
It's kind of become the new Tumblr, I feel like Twitter has. And this is coming from someone who was like in Tumblr during like, you know, 2014, 2015, like, back when that was kind of popular, I guess.
To keep things light, as I promised, I said I would, out of like drama and whatever, I was more bringing the point of just kind of like, look, people who are passionate are going to nitpick more than anything because we want it to be good. We want something we devoted the time into and whatever to be good, which is why, especially so when it comes to like fandom nitpicking or so, is the trusted figures and making sure that we know exactly, hey, this is what flies around here, this is what doesn't fly around here. I messed up my perfect day, so that's gonna be like 15 minutes of my life I'm never getting that. But anyway, aside to the point, especially so, like, we just want the best for when it comes to our environment, be it in like a con, in a fandom and whatever, such like that or so. And when it gets to those uncomfortable points, it really sticks out and makes things awkward for everybody or so. And if I'm going to go back to that Twitter example or so, when John Green famously run out of Tumblr for things they should not talk about on stream, then touts Twitter as an even worse platform, and everybody is like, yo, John, I thought you hated us, and yet you're saying we're only the second worst website that you've interacted with so far? That's something, because if you know what happened with John Green on Tumblr, that is a landmark moment in history, in internet history and culture, that I think everybody should be educated about, because it's funny with how sad it is.
Right. Yeah, I guess my last thing on that topic is just like, criticism is nothing to be scared of. Criticism is usually made, you know, because people want to see things that get better, you know? And it's like, I don't know. There's just a very anti-criticism attitude and a lot of, oh great, they have a Bullover too.
I feel like if
I just don't get it.
I feel like if I could distill it down. Oh, sorry, you're still talking.
Yeah, sorry, I was just like, oh man, they have a Bullover too.
No, it's I also, you know, I drone on and taught like very much so a lot. And usually,
Yeah,
because
you're
it's more often
fine.
than not kind of like what this is kind of more of a solo stream more often than not, because I usually don't expect many call-ins. This is kind of like my cycle. But to get back to that point that we're talking about here, especially so, I feel like when it comes to these situations in talking about, hold on, I have a sneeze coming in.
That's you. I mean, I
Okay,
think-
no, I did not have a sneeze coming in. I braced myself, I opened my mouth, and instead just like a little bit of like, you know, like a small burp of air came out, but nothing else. But
I don't know. I just kind of want to say, like, I don't know, criticisms, nothing to be scared of. If it's like good criticism to be acted on it, you can act on it. If it's not criticism, you can dismiss it. But like, I don't know, criticism should be encouraged more, in my opinion, especially in fandom spaces, because fandom spaces get very wild very quickly.
I feel like especially because we have, you know, lots of creative minds, whether it be in the art department, in the cosplay department, or just like, well, arts and crafts, I think, is the better basket term to lump all of us into.
Yeah,
Rather.
also
But-
fair.
But especially so, I think the biggest things that it comes to is really just our, like, us being cognitive of just like, you know, how we fall in and like where we've come from with our work, especially so. Because I'll use like other stuff from the internet just from my time being on there. I say my time being on the internet makes me an
Oh my God.
intellectual.
Back
See,
when
I'm
I
not
was
like
young,
the other content
Me ain't
creators.
have none of this must stuff.
You see, my father used to be a streamer, so naturally that made him
Oh my
fine.
gosh.
Okay,
My dad
okay,
actually
okay.
does like to tell me when I talk about like video games, and you know, I play a lot of the rhythm games. I also like League of Legends, you know, a lot of strategy games. And my dad will look at it and be like, man, I remember where games were simple. I used to play Pong, you know, and that was pretty hard. I'm like, dang. Yeah, I mean, you literally can play. And he's like, nah. You have
what,
fun,
though?
kids.
You know what? Mom is like really good though with Space Invader. I didn't know this until we were at an arcade and she was just like killing it on that machine. But I mean, Game of Blood. It runs in the family.
But here, to get back to what we were talking about with like accepting criticism online, the biggest things that I feel about it would be three things, which is, I'm gonna pull this all from Twitter, because I guess that's the only website that I really use social media-wise, because I don't use anything else, and I'll consider Discord one, because that's a messenger app, more than a social media site, Smile. 'Cause you
God,
can-
imagine if Discord was a social media site.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes, but
No, yeah, I say that like very
Careful what you
technically.
say.
yeah.
No. That was a
Remember
joke.
when they tried to roll out NFTs and literally everybody disliked that?
Yeah.
But anyway, to get back to the point that I'm making here, I don't know why the internet has such a raging, like hatred just for the Marvel movies altogether. Maybe it's just because it's the casual, filthy casuals of movie experiences. But anytime I see anything brought up Marvel side, and keep in mind, like, I'll enjoy Marvel casual. I wouldn't say I'm a super stan or whatever, but I've seen, you know, a good amount or so, like Rolly State or
I like the
so.
defense of like, listen, I like Marvel, but like, you know, don't come for me.
Yeah, I was about to
Which
say.
I'm joking, but it's also like.
Well, I was about to say, it's like the
covering your
thing
bases. Covering your bases.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But the thing that I see all the time or so is whenever I see any
God, I'm
movie
bad.
discourse come up, it's just always Marvel bad. It ruined the viewing experience. Says everything always has to have a cheesy one-liner every 30 seconds or whatever. And I just see this argument touted all the time on the internet and whatever. And I feel like it's very much so in a bad faith argument of it's like, dude,
Yeah.
that is like one spectrum of like all theater and whatever stuff like that or so. And even though yes, it is one of the most popular and a lot of people are gonna talk about it, you literally do not have any obligation to get any to give your input. It's like, have you seen any of
Watching
it?
back.
No, but I've seen enough pop culture to know I don't like it. It's like, okay, you could also just not engage in the spectrum of the world because it's not your forte and you should better spend that time doing something else. And I messed up because I fat fingered it and pressed 0 instead of dash. I am going to regret that. And the 12 minutes I spent preparing that sushi online. Have to do it all again. We're pretty They've been checking out more Marvel movies now. Well, especially since it's like they're what, in phase 4 of like their big
Yeah.
overarching plans. It's the burnout that I feel people had, because after Endgame, which, you know, I did buy into the hype, because I was gonna, like, because I was like I cosplayed Doctor Strange to Endgame with my campus friends, for crying out loud. I feel like that's the peak, but especially so, you know, people are just kind of like, oh, another superhero movie. And it's kind of
We are nearing
poisoned
the
the
next
well
stop.
of internet arguments of just kind of like, everybody, oh, it's like, Marvel is just, you know, everybody's seen it. It's been done a million times. The Russo brothers have always done their formula. And it's just caused a lot of bad faith arguments and just kind of like, Marvel equals bad on the internet. And that's gonna be like the second thing I was gonna talk about, especially so. I messed up again. I'll restart the day. That's another 2 minutes I'm not getting back. But I wanted to argue on the side of like good faith when you were talking about criticism earlier of like,
Yeah.
you know that Facebook meme of it's like, can I offer constructive criticism? Yeah, it fucking sucks. That's not constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But
The
it's
thing
like,
about criticism. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, especially so when it comes to social media messenger apps, otherwise known as, like, what's the Twitter meme? Dead bird, a brain dead bird app, whatever it is. But it's like, especially so, you can, like, one thing that's very much so lost on social interactions is, one, we have that era of anonymity online, so people can get away with saying a lot more hateful stuff and whatever, just so that people are a lot more or less reserved about saying their hotter takes, or they're very much so not right to say at all on stream takes. So let's just be honest here. I'm not going to beat around the
Yeah.
bush on that.
That's
But,
fair.
like, especially so, like, one thing that is very much a loss is that social skill of reading the room, and also people forget that it's like, haha, it's a joke, /S, don't worry, it's sarcasm. We cannot tell that online. A lot of social nuance is going to be lost online, and because of that, you need to act in good faith of hoping to understand that whatever you're saying is not only in benefit of, hey, I'm putting my opinion out on the internet, but also
Great day for cooking
making
stuff.
sure that you remember there's a human being on the line at least 80% of the time. There's a lot more bots now on the internet in general, and let's not talk about that, considering if I say the word bot, there's probably going to be somebody coming in my chat talking about, would you like to buy free followers for $5.99 a month or whatever, but
You want to buy my NFTs that are definitely not as
I thought
good
I got
worth
plastic.
the investment?
yeah.
It's always NFTs nowadays that bots show. It's so weird.
I mean, it's the new internet fad for scam culture, so I'm not gonna put it too past now. I'll be honest with you. But
It
especially
sucks a
so,
bit because like part of me wants to go online and be like, hey, you know, looking for an artist who does chibis, because you know, even though I've been browsing the tags, I can't just like say that because I don't have a whole lot of people that would see it, and then I don't want to get bought.
I mean, I definitely, if you want, I
No
can put
problem,
out a call and
Chef.
be like, hey, because I have art. I got
It's like, yeah, I know it's like most I tangent. One thing I've seen people around, so of course, if you type out that buzzword of looking for commissions or whatever stuff like that, or you're gonna get those stolen art bots and whatever stuff like that always.
Yeah.
But on the other hand of things, what I've seen like some of my friends do to get around that is that they just post a picture of like the text that they were gonna type instead. That way, the bots don't detect that it's a picture saying they need commissions or whatever, and it works at least
Gotcha.
more often than not that I've seen. Is that, you know, unless AI is advanced to the point where it's like they can read exactly your word text in bold Arial 11-point font that it says I need commissions. Ooh.
nice.
It gets around the system more often than not, so that's what I usually see.
I think. Okay. I know I said like, oh, this is the last thing I want to say. Okay, I think that's the last thing I want to say. It's like the thing about criticism is just like when it's made,
Perfect.
it's gotta be like you gotta kind of be productive about it. The way we learned how to do it in art school, I say art school, it was a gym college, but the way we learned to do it is, you know, you kind of like you say something like when you're trying to make a criticism, you kind of talk about how they might change it to be better for what they're trying to do, especially. And like, you know, and if you can, you know, try do it with like a positive, because you know, hearing like nothing but criticism about your art hurts, which isn't always something you should do when it comes to like just general criticism, but like you should be doing it with the intention to be making something better, you know. So a lot of times, like, to your credit, people will just be like, "Oh man, this sucks. I hate it when they do that." And it's like, all right, well, what do you think they should do? And you kind of don't have an answer. It's like, well, you're just kind of complaining to complain. You can do that on your Twitter account. Don't do it like.
And I'll throw in like the last example. Sorry, go on. You're still talking. I interrupted
I
you.
thought just, yeah, like there's places where criticism is warranted, as like, which is really most places. But there's also sometimes where it's like someone's just trying to have fun, and you know, you shouldn't necessarily like do that. You know, it's like it's not entirely appropriate. You know.
Yeah. And it's like, on the other hand of that spectrum, the other internet thing that I see all the time or so is the false dichotomy that I've always seen all the time or so. And I'll use another famous Twitter tweet that was like, it was just like a guy that just went off, that just said something. It's like, man, I don't know how else it is, but it's like, I do enjoy like the Waffle House waffles or something like that or so. And one of the random tweets that this guy got from a stranger is like, oh, so you hate pancakes, huh? And it's like, no, you're making a whole nother conversation, my man. I literally said I like waffles.
It's fine.
And
watch me immediately get shot.
And because of that, it's like, I feel like that's another thing that's kind of like, once again, poison the well of the internet, especially so, when it comes to just kind of like, even if it's like, I'm talking about this and just more just kind of like strangers and just like weirdos on the internet more than anything, especially so when it comes to just like, whatever you say is going to be twisted, used against you, whatever, however it is. And you just always have to just be careful with how you're wording things, and make sure that, like, yeah, you have good intentions. Make sure that those good intentions are bases covered. Please, very much so. Because you're gonna get everybody who's gonna be looking to tear you down, or find the other, or just find any small little weird things. Because internet detectives in this day and age are very much so a poison. That just, you know, why do people have to dig so much into it? It's like, huh, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you made this real cool post or so, but unfortunately, you made one sus post that was joking about the exact opposite thing 5 years ago on this exact date. It's like, dude, this was a joke post or whatever. You sure? Hashtag canceled.
I need y'all to chill and talk about not as, what's the word?
Serious.
I mean, we can do serious, but I'm more so looking for happy serious. You guys have been talking about discourse for a while.
Well, I'm sorry that the point kept droning on, but I also kind of kept elongating it, so I'll put that on my head. Instead, we'll talk about some smaller discourse, such as how in the Fire Emblem cosplay group, everybody was talking down on our new protagonist, Alear. God damn, two-faced champion.
This is not what I was looking for! Oh, I have a communication error. Oh, right.
Okay,
look, give me something heavy. What cosplays are you guys working on?
Well, like, it's kind of serious, but also like it's genuinely good. It's happy.
Yes.
Do you want to okay, look. You said it's kind of serious. Give us your one-sentence pitch, and let's go decide if this is good or not.
When I say serious, I mean like it had like a real effect on me, but it was also like a good effect. So
give us your one-sentence pitch. That was still not, unless that's your one-sentence pitch right there.
I had everyone was very nice about my cosplays, and it made me happy.
Alright, acceptable. One might even say very good, excellent.
So I didn't do a whole lot of cosplaying like with the group. Like Friday we were Splatoon, or y'all were Splatoon. Saturday y'all were Fire Emblem. I didn't do any of those things. So I was kind of like sticking it on my own. But even especially with Emily on Friday, I got a lot of like nice people like coming up to me and being like, "Oh my God, are you from ID5?" And then they were like they would ask for a picture, and then we talked about like it a little bit. I think there was someone who's like, "Oh yeah, I used to be like top 10 ranked Emily like back when I was playing." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I only got up to top 12." And then there's another person. I really love seeing like other fans of color about ID5 especially, because I feel like a lot of the scene of fan culture is kind of like just dominated, not necessarily by white people, but just kind of like there's not a whole there's not a huge I guess BIPOC presence. But so seeing another brown person came up to me and they were like, "Yeah, I did Luca last year, and I was really hoping that other people would do it, but I'm glad to see their cosplayers here." And I'm like, "Yeah, oh my God, yeah, I love Evelyn, I love 95 and I want to keep cosplaying it. So it was just like, I don't know, it was very nice. It was the closest I'd ever felt in my entire time, I guess, of being, kind of being into 95, where I actually felt like a sense of community. Everyone was very nice and we were very happy playing it, despite the fact that I struggled a lot up to the literal day of like me wearing it. So it was a really good time.
I think the other thing to add on to the story, so that very much so made me happy, when I saw it too, was I only just recently started, I think when I first actually started following your Twitter account was when we went out for that cosplay thrift store date, if you remember that. So I didn't actually know how big your account was because of your art and whatever, but I remember when you took that mirror selfie, it's like, hey, see me at AWA or so. You got so much interaction. People were like, yes, Queen Slay.
I was so surprised by that. Zoe told me, I think later that day we were talking about, maybe doing stuff for other cons, and they're like, yeah, maybe you should keep doing, 95 stuff because, you got a lot of engagement. And I'm like, I did? And it was, I was genuinely not expecting it, so it was, super cool to see. Yeah, I mean, again, there's not a whole lot of, I guess, faces in this fandom that are, black and people. I say that, I mean,
Wave Breaker, praise me. And I waited too long on that.
Ah! We died!
Yeah, I did. I let go of my shot too soon, I got eaten!
I don't necessarily mean, I guess, because, I don't know, BIPOC is its own kind of acronym. I don't necessarily mean just black and native people, but I mean, there's as far as brown people go, there's not a whole lot of faces or people who do that with ID5. There's maybe a handful of me and my other neutrals who do that, so it's doing that is I don't know, but saying representation feels weird because it's my own face, but I don't know, showing up, representing, we out here, it was a we out here moment.
I mean, if I'm talking about representation, hello, look at my model. I'm a cute anime girl with pasty white skin. What do I look like in real life? I'm a nice chocolate brown boy. Yo, let's go. Oh, hold on, I'm different character. I'm a nice chocolate brown boy.
I didn't know we were that close to losing.
You
It was really important to me, and I'm not saying it has to be for other people, but for me, when I was designing my OC and potential VTuber, because I'm still not sure if this is a thing I want to do a whole lot and invest all that money into, it's definitely, I was looking around, I'm looking at all these other VTubers, being okay, what do people like in a VTuber? Why are some more popular than others? What is it that they do? Does it have to do with the way they look? And overwhelmingly, it was just not brown. And I was even if I never become popular, whatever, I do still think it's really important because I can remember certain things, certain cosplays even, and I used to be one of those people that was oh, I can never do this because I don't look like them, or I don't look like this character.
I had
and so I'm
experience growing up where I'm I can only cosplay people who are brown skinned.
Yo, so it's even if all it does is inspire one person to be hey, no, look, you can be adorable, you can be cute, and you can have skin color that matches your own. I was look, I need to be brown. And I did try to match it as close to my brown as possible, but what I didn't realize was, I'm not very good at art, so the program I used, I layered 2 colors together to make my skin tone, and then when I sent that to the artist, I guess the skin tone that she used was slightly darker than what it ended up being for me, when I sent the reference. But I also realized my skin tone changes throughout the year. I work an outdoor job, so at the end of summer... What?
I'm laughing because I empathize.
Yeah, I'm not... My skin color changes. Do you know how hard it is for me to find a skin color that actually looks like mine when I play these, RPG, MMO type of games? It's hard, because I look at myself in the mirror, and then 2 months later, I literally won't even look like it. I'm just damn, am I just lying?
That's literally what the character saw.
Can I say, I had that moment too, back when I was making, I don't do, personas, but I do have, an 95 self-insert. And I was I want to make her accurate to me, and then I was, trying to decide her skin tone, and I'm is this, I'm not, because I'm like not, you can't mistake me for white, but I'm also like not dark skinned. I'm like, is this right? Is this, are people gonna like, is this like that? And then I'm like, no, literally, my skin changes. I had a moment right before the con where it's been a very long time since I put on a full face of makeup, and so I was testing out all of my foundations, and the one I used to use was too light, but I also had an older one that I was trying from like a different brand that I didn't use because it was too dark. And I tried that one, and it was a perfect match. So it's just like, it's color. It's like the color changes, and also it's like it's not like I'm trying to claim anything other than what I am, and it's not like people have seen my selfies now. They know.
Hey,
So,
we'll address chat real quick. Calvin in chat says, talking about like discoverability earlier, personality really. Yes, I will agree with that, of course, because personality is what makes people stick. But designs are what are going to make people first look at you and be like, oh god, for a lack of words.
If I could, this isn't like necessarily a shout out because this person doesn't know me, but there's this one account that I've been following forever. The URL is like Stitchomancy or Stitchomancy, I can't necessarily remember, but she's a black writer who documents kind of this stuff about how like fandom treats white characters and characters that kind of like fit their perceived model of attractiveness, whether it's a man, whether it's pale skin, not necessarily white, but just pale skin, and it's like I don't know, just really interesting stuff. It's like, if you don't think about it, it's hard to kind of notice, but then you see it, and you're like, oh, wow, like, yeah. This is just kind of like how fandom is. So, hearing that, it doesn't necessarily surprise me, seeing, like, the majority of, like, really popular, successful VTubers are, they're pale-skinned, which is not bad on its own, but it's also just kind of like an extension of a trend, if that makes sense.
To continue going on with that, especially so with that personality thing, especially people are just really, you're still looking at designs that are gonna pop out, especially so just talking about it on a straight up perspective. And yes, personality is the most important thing because it's the sticking point. Not even if somebody has a wonderful model, if they just playing Valorant, not communicating whatever, and just being like,
could you imagine a silent VTuber?
I know I didn't say anything right there during my 5-second segment of talking about streamers, but that was exactly the point. The people who have no personality at all don't try to entertain their streams other than just having mediocre gameplay and then sometimes just being like, game sucks, teammates suck, whatever. Yeah, that's gonna be the turn-off point, but the biggest thing I feel with it is that with that design perspective and design doc, is that it still is a landmark in being able to say not only what the character is, but what the person embodying that character is. And like we just were talking about, it's inspiration in showing what others have done, what others ground it has been tread. Because Zoe embodied that perfectly in her own story of talking about not seeing enough people, but also it's like the few that there are going to be the embodiments and pillars of that community or of that, of that group or so. Especially so.
Yeah. And I want to say, oh sorry.
No, I was about to say, and because of that, it's just a very important thing of we're on the internet, and so whatever you are, whatever you perceive yourself to be, or whatever you end up to be, you are setting yourself up as a figurehead on the internet, and for that reason, however you are going to present, skin color, race, whatever. I'd say skin color, race, as the biggest sticking points, especially so, you are making yourself a known entity and have that responsibility as well. It just so sucks that, at least for me, the only reason why I'm a pale-skinned girl online or so, I don't mean to offend anybody or so, but when I was making my character trait in Saints Row the Third on Xbox or so, I made myself, it's there's no skinny guy variants. This does not look like me at all. I'll just play as a girl because it's much cuter to look at. And,
Mary, I let it time out, I'm sorry.
I've fallen down the slippery slope to where I'm now a cute anime girl online. That does not match me how I look at all. So good night, Calvin. But, I didn't mean to, not represent my skin color, or rather falsely represent who I am. It was just sort of hey, look, my reasons are so shallow of just anime girl cute, and I've kind of used template for like every game that I've used. Of like, huh, short blonde-haired anime girls are pretty cute, don't you think? And now I became one.
I also think there is nothing wrong though about wanting to look like your ideal of cuteness. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, Cruzy, you're not white in real life. You should have been white. It's like you want to look. Ideally, it's what you want to look like, you know.
Yep.
But you can also look exactly like what you want to look like, while still having respectful conversations about representation. You know.
But especially so, like, once again, it's going in that good faith, bad faith argument of it's like, I know how things can especially get sick and twisted or so. I mean, dude, we're on the internet. I've had so many people asking, are you trans? Like, no, I'm just playing an anime girl because it's cute. And
yeah.
it's like, that's literally as shallow as it gets for me. I just want to be cute or so. And like, or like, Porcelain Maid, Joel, had a real good Twitch post that he had earlier. This past
I actually
week
saw
about,
that. I remember that.
Yep, about if people didn't see. It was like somebody came in the chat and was like, "Why are you? What's like? You're a guy with a girl avatar or so." And he went into basically a lengthy tangent of like, "Look, let people do what they want, especially so, and
Especially if it doesn't hurt you.
yeah, especially if it doesn't hurt anybody. So you still chose to came in here. You literally looked at the thought like, dude, these are literally your first messages in my channel, and I don't think you're trying to be hateful, but is this really what you're going to shoot your shot at me with?" And then the guy apologized, like, "I understand better now. I did not mean to offend." And to be fair, yes, that's real good, and also a real good angle for Joel, who is, you know, one of the biggest faces of indie VTubers on the scene, to be properly educating people on, like, hey, look, not everything is malicious. You just need to be educated on let people do what they want. Now, granted, on the other end of the spectrum, that can be twisted maliciously in many different ways, but the main argument, especially so, is that, look, he is very confident in how he is, and also...
I got communication error!
Besides, like, the lore parts and whatever, just kind of like, you know, yeah, he's really just possessing a doll and shit like that or so. Maybe against his will or not or so. Like, it very much so is just like, let people do what they want. It's not harming you, so why are you making the fuss about it, huh? Mile? Let's try that again.
It's okay, I messed up a lot of engagement with the enemies!
Yep, but it's, once
I am
again,
not
it's
very
like,
good at this game.
the main sin that I'd say would be committed, especially so, is that sin of apathy and omniscient. Of like, look, yes, I'm brown in real life. I'm also a guy in real life. chatreuseproxy, your wonderful wingmate, your cruise ship captain, is
Oh my God.
very much so pale and very much so a girl.
You always do it with the voice, like you never just say it, right? Even when you're just quoting yourself, you always do it with the voice.
Oh,
This is
with
even in
how
real
much-
life, friends.
With how much I break character and coding right now at the exact moment, I have to keep the marketability up. Come on. You made me put bacon on a burger when they didn't want bacon!
God.
All right, chef.
That's giving me
Show me what you
flashbacks
got.
to working in culinary.
But anyway, like, on to that point especially, so it's like, yes, I am literally a polar opposite of what I am and what I present, when I am IRL, when I present myself to be online. But the main thing is that I'm cognizant about it, and that I'm making an effort not to offend, or, you know, to bring any, you know, bad stereotypes one way or another, or just like, you know, bad stereotypes, bad experiences, not trying to present myself or leverage the fact that I'm presenting one way or another. Or, what's the word, race baiting, or anything like that. Race baiting, skin baiting, whatever that internet stuff is, or so. I know that things can get sick and twisted, which is why I am trying to keep myself educated in the know and just making sure that everybody knows, hey, this isn't anything more than just me being shallow for what I like to see. Smile.
Oh
wink.
shoot! Oh shoot! Sorry.
But of
I
course,
was
things don't get translated well on the internet, and people will, as I keep saying right now, get things sick and twisted for their own means to, haha, hashtag cancel culture you. But it's just about making people cognizant, about making them know, and just once again, overall, just being safe, people. Be knowing, be confident, but be safe and know what you are standing for on the internet, especially so. But that's a
I have no idea where all of y'all are
into
going, because
character.
there are still enemies near this point.
I just respawned.
Now, before Calvin went to bed, he also did say in another side point of the
Ooh,
correct choice
wow.
is no makeup. All natural. Shouldn't get away with it because I'm a guy. I don't know about the others in chat here. What say you, girls and Geo?
Have you ever worn makeup before?
Not yet. Because
I
Gio begrudgingly admits you good for cosplay.
I think in certain instances makeup can be good, but I wouldn't personally use too much of it. Like if I'm doing like an anime cosplay, eyeliner's probably the
I mean,
most
I'm
I'll
about to
do.
say, at least like for entry level, to where before I didn't even use eyeliner before the Marie cosplay, and that was only because Cherry helped me out with it or so. Most that I really did use was just like some simple concealing stuff just for the stubble that I have. Once you can shave, unless I get that completely taken out of me, that's always gonna continue growing. I gotta hide. I was gonna say the guy bits, but that makes it sound much worse.
Oh my
I'm trying to
God.
hide the facial hair.
I think for you can go.
No, it's okay. You can go.
Yeah. For daily wear, I don't generally wear makeup unless I'm wearing like a dress or something. But even then, it's really just I only really wear it when I'm trying to look nicer, I guess. I don't know. That's it. Oh! Like I know for AWA, even though I was not cosplaying, I definitely wanted to like enhance cuteness. Because generally speaking, I think I have large eyes, or at least I've been told. So I feel like the eyeliner and the mascara definitely just helps it pop. Like I don't really do more than that, unless you count some glitter highlighter, because you know, sparkles are nice.
So when I do makeup, I used to do full face of makeup every day when I was in college, and I'll admit part of that was definitely like I guess an insecurity of wanting people to like me, wanting people to want to come up to talk to me about stuff. But also, I don't really do it anymore. But at the same time, it's like I'm not opposed to doing it for certain things, even if it's just like, hey, you know, we're all gonna go to the zoo. Let me put on a full face of makeup, just because now it's like, it's just I like how I look with it on. I think a lot of makeup is really just finding what works for you, finding out how you like looking like, and then working with that. You what?
I fat fingered. I pressed an extra key when I didn't mean to. But yeah, no, especially so since I am very much so an amateur in the makeup learning department or so, I'm still learning my way around it, and
I think this one here might
so
be a
it can be
few
as
levels
much
short
or
of a
as little
10
as you want, just considering how I'd make up on for just like one day. I really got exposed to seeing like how much more I could be able to push my limits of cosplay and whatever stuff like that or so. But also at the same time, I'm also seeing like, okay, just like, you know, like, yeah, that daily application and just like the small little things you can do. It really just comes down to what makes you comfortable, what makes you work with it. Because as much as we are teaching Geo to, this isn't a joke, put the makeup on, if he knows it's not gonna look good on him, I'll probably take his word at it. But then also, that probably makes me want to just force myself to put some eyeliner on him.
Food truck.
So Geo, put on the eyeliner.
If y'all
I
ever
mean-
want, makeup recommendations, let me know.
Next board game night, last place gets makeup put on them.
I won't say no, mostly because I'm curious as to what I'll look like.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can
I
use
mean,
a mirror for that.
I'm assuming you don't want like the full thick eyeliner, you know, false lashes, sort of deal.
As long as I don't like catch any kind of diseases or whatever.
What? Okay, that's why step one, you don't borrow other people's makeup. You use your own.
Yeah, cross-contamination, even though I don't know too much about makeup, I already know that.
Yo, Mary, I'm down to play one more. We've been playing for almost the whole 2 hours.
Okay.
It feels weird because I'm like try-harding a little bit because it's ranked, right? But then we win, and I realized we just got 8 points. 8. And I'm like, oh, I did all of that for crumbs.
On the bright side, because we're getting knockouts, we are getting a lot of knockouts plus cash.
Yeah, I also got the team cash up. Do they stack?
I don't.
Well, I hope they do because we both have it.
Why did you do that?
because I wanted to see if it worked.
Ah,
Now, granted, I know the internet exists,
A great
but I like to learn by doing.
You were tryharding because you thought you'd be earning more rank points. I am tryharding because I'm.
Oh no,
doing
I
it for
definitely did
content.
not.
We are not the same.
I
making a meme.
definitely did not. I'm just tryharding because it's splat zones and I'm playing with a jet squelcher.
Real hard to see with all
Well,
that egg on your
I'm
face.
pretty sure if you're playing ranked, you should always be tryharding. Otherwise, you're letting the dichotomy of your teammates down. Otherwise, you're known as what's
Oh my
either
God.
called smurfing or throwing.
When we lose, we lose 2 points. 2! And I need like 200 to rank up. It's not. I do prefer splat zones and tower control though.
And what you're saying is that just because you're losing, you're discounting your other 3 teammates who may be doing the harder grind.
This voice hurts me. Oh god, the snorting.
I'm doing the nerd voice. What do you want from me?
Just stop! Please! Please stop!
You should have stayed in Boise.
You see? You see, chat? This is one of my favorite things, because when it gets to teasing my friends, usually when it comes to my IRLs, if I just get a little, you know, physically intimate with them or so, most of them are very much so a lot more in the introvert scale, and that already gets them. Sometimes I gotta tease people with my voice, whether it be, you know, breathing heavily into the mic for like Kaito, or annoying Zoe, either with things
I'm
like
not
that,
annoyed.
or also doing things such as talking about stream content and how, you know, it's the difference between how I talk in real life and your wonderful wingmates, your true ship captain, chatreuseproxy, ever at your service.
Yo, they just killed 3 of us in one day.
3 of you died to the Booyah Bomb!
It was a combination of the Booyah Bomb and something else.
No,
my friends
I'm
are
back
dead.
fingered again!
Let's have some fun today.
Gods.
Don't worry, I've got my rain coming.
Food truck.
Well, anyway, when it comes to the end of it
You
all,
should have stayed in
I'm just
Boise.
happy to have friends like these, which I can have fun, talk with, and also tease endlessly. Smile?
Your
Isn't that
smiles are
right?
never friendly smiles.
Oh, they're never friendly.
They're friendly enough.
What's
You
your
know what we
definition
need to
of
do at
friendly?
some point and like actually finish? So before AWA, when you know we had our cosplay insanity moments, we thought about not only doing a full squad of Splatoon cosplays, but also practicing a dance routine.
Hey,
I think
still
we should
down
do
for
that.
it. It's just that nobody else ever had a good time, and I don't blame them.
We were busy preparing our other cosplays.
And to be fair, I'd totally be down to still do it. I mean, I know I'm gonna want to record myself doing it just for my own internal use. Like, I know one thing I want to do is I want to put on my Shigure outfits again, and actually, if I get like a good background and whatever, record myself singing Lost in Thoughts.
Aww.
Oh, okay, so getting back to the con story, when we were waiting in line for Brianna Knickerbocker, I got to see a Fire Emblem Heroes variant of Sakura from Fire Emblem Fates, which is the Nekomata Sakura, which was the Halloween variant of her, and of course one of the characters that she voiced. The best thing is that I was hanging around with an Elwood and like a few other Fire Emblem cosplayers, like, apparently she had gotten word about me being there because I was Tobin from Fire Emblem Echoes, and she had come rushing over because she was freaking out like, I have never seen a Tobin in my life, and you have made my day. And it was so cool because it's like, look, I was the only person from Echoes there, and I rocked that. I'll be honest with you, which was amazing. It was just kind of like a funny, you know, it comes with the territory. I didn't expect anybody else, but it's just more funny. But it's so cool that like even if it just made one person's day more than anything, of like the fact that somebody recognized me and was freaking out like, there's a Tobin? No freaking way. Like.
That's so cute.
So we got to talking, we talked about how it's like, yeah, like, cosplay, like, past cosplays and whatever, so, like, she was freaking out, like, because we were talking about how we passed by the Azuras. I got to talk about how I'd done my own Shigure stuff or so, and while we were waiting in line, because Brianna Knickerbocker wasn't there yet or so, I got to actually sing out a few verses of Lost in Thoughts in English and Japanese, mostly because I was showing off, but also because it was kind of requested by them, and oh my goodness, it felt cathartic. Because because I remember I just like closed my eyes and I was kind of like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna lean into this and just be confident because Aha, I'm very confident in my karaoke skills. Hey, Zoe, we should do a karaoke night sometime. Why haven't we done that yet?
Because I'm not confident in my karaoke skills.
You have to
I-
build confidence one way or another now, girl.
Look, I used to think I could sing and not be terrible. And then our workplace had a karaoke where I sang, but because I was surrounded by my peers, I choked. It was so bad. Well, I think it was bad. Everyone told me it was okay, which is very different because they told everyone else they did really well. So I was like,
You
oh,
did
no.
great! What about me? Your performance was mid.
A great day.
No.
It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was mid. Vine boom sound effect.
Incoming food truck.
I am down, even potentially on stream, but we would 100% have to practice first, and if I feel like I sound like a dying fish, like under pressure, right, I'm not gonna do it.
Look,
So the salmon run weapons are good now. Oh god.
Like, all jokes
I may not
aside
get
and
sleep
everything in between, especially so, like, I don't want to pressure you if you really are uncomfortable with it, but I would like to see if I could help you regain your confidence, because I once again, it's like, look, you say it's bad, I'm gonna hold out hope until I hear it myself, because look, again, what have we always said? So everybody starts somewhere, and maybe
Sounds
just lost your
amazing.
confidence.
Ah!
So
Ashley, you keep quiet the whole time just to pipe in with that.
Sounds great.
So I think I might head off just because I'm not a streamer and I'm also not on the stream anymore. But thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me play. Thank you for letting me talk as much as I did. I apologize. I feel like I talked a lot.
What?
But thank you for letting
Look,
me.
I would say it's
talking
good and a
about
bad. It's good because of all the content that you gave. It's bad because holy crap. Are you using a mic or are you in a wind tunnel?
Incoming food truck.
Me?
The mic is it feels a
Must
little
be real
muffled.
hard
I
to
don't
see
know.
with all that egg on your face.
It's old.
Okay,
It is old. I've
maybe
had it
that's
since
it.
like.
I should also say
Oh.
my stuff is kind of heavily like partitioned out into like its own tracks and whatever stuff like that. So it might be some of my filters, but yeah, I think the wear is showing a bit.
Oh,
Like it was like
I'll,
Hang on.
I was about to say
I'll
like
keep them.
the main thing is that I can still make out what you're saying, but it's not the highest quality.
That's fair. I'll keep that in mind when my next paycheck rolls in.
Well, don't prioritize
Mary
it the
TNG
most.
tuber when?
Because I was about to say, unless you're going to join the
Maybe.
gold tier, and I am
That's-
being very tepid about this, as I don't know, because I don't know you as well as Zoe, so I don't know if I could actually feasibly kidnap you into this lifestyle.
What?
Get in the VTubing sack. You'll never
Um,
escape.
I definitely. 'cause
This
I
is
feel
not
like
a joke.
I mean,
I feel
I
like
still
the
need to
Joseph
adopt you
Bucky's
as an
out of
official
place.
member of Guild Force, though. Scooby.
I would.
I need to actually make you an official member of Guild Force.
I think I am okay only because I'm not, how you say, I don't want to say as good. I don't know. What's like a
So?
nicer way of saying not as good without saying not as good?
You're mid?
Oh god, okay, I see! Okay.
But I'll head off. Thank you for having me, and I'll see you on later. Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Have good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
It's like, do I need to go to bed? Yes, I have a plane to catch in the morning. But I just looked at the salmon run weapons.
You can also play
Oh, wait, I
Sig
could
with
play
us after
salmon run in the
stream.
airport? I'll play salmon run in the airport. I'm probably also, I guess, gonna sign off here. I don't really have anything fun to say other than I'm gonna plug it again. Our cosplays, because we worked really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Mary, who just left, that was her Rainbow Dash cosplay. I made her wig. She made literally everything else. Like, she put the design on the tank top, the jacket she made herself. And then, time to snoop on Peruzzi's Twitter to find their lovely Emma cosplay.
I really didn't get any good pictures besides like the one cost test at Carrie's house, let's be honest here.
No,
That's why
okay, we
I
need to
wanted-
fix that.
That's why I want to get a photo shoot. Yes, please. I just have to fix
When I get-
so many details of it.
When I get home, no, you don't even have a picture on there that shows the skirt. I made the skirt.
I
They are
have a
little scuffed,
video!
I'm gonna make me scroll down for a video.
Well, you can just plug my Twitter for now, and then you can just retweet it later. Smart.
Found it. Gonna throw that in there. Thank you, peeps, for hanging out. It's been really fun just getting to talk about our experiences this weekend. Like, it was so much fun, and I can't stop thinking about it. This is the first con I've been to in a while where I just wasn't looking forward to going home at the end. Like, I wanted to stay an extra day or two, which was amazing.
Maybe
We
it
did
was
so
only
much
because you were going to
preparation.
play for the arcade for all 4 days, but let's not talk
I mean,
about
yes,
that.
it would have been great. It would have been great. I think, we were talking earlier, there's no such thing, like, if you play rhythm games, there's no such thing as just like, a moderate rhythm game player. Like, you're either a complete casual, or you're an absolute junkie. Like, you can't really stop thinking about the next time you'll get to play them. When you get the opportunity, you do nothing but play them for 3 hours straight, and then you wonder why your eyes hurt, and you realize you haven't blinked in about 3 hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I bought Hellsinger yesterday, because I didn't spend any money in the vendor hall. Hellsinger is a great game. Wait, Cruising, you play rhythm games! You're a fellow junkie. You should play it.
I know
It's
about
fun.
Hellsinger, but I've played BPM, so I feel like I've gotten my rhythm shooter enough.
Damn, okay. I'll probably play some. If I wake up early tomorrow, I'll probably actually just play some Hellsinger before I hop on the plane, because plane rides actually make me nervous.
Next time I visit you, I'd be willing to try the game out.
Yes! I will record
And-
it if that's okay.
Rhythm game junkie.
That's fine.
Only
game
for you and
junkie.
me. Astra here is not quite a junkie.
Wait, oh no,
But we're getting
gonna
there.
Make him a junkie.
Yeah, we're getting there. There's no escape.
I do enjoy me some Taiko, I will say that.
Yes!
But for now, we can continue more of these conversations next time when we're both live, so you can join us and watch us again. For now, I am going to actually send out a raiding party to one of my friends. I don't know if you're gonna do the same or not, So,
I can if you give me their name. I was like looking at my list actually, but I don't have anyone streaming anything right now other than Fortnite.
there you
So-
go. My friend Chitzama, who is a leading force in Boys Brew Central Fiction for tournaments, whatever. They're playing the new season of Apex. One of my longest friends, and also part of my stats for whenever I play Apex, of course.
I gotcha.
Of course, everybody, remember that I have the raid message posted out as well, so if you are following me, you can use the emote CG Cruise Heart, along with being able to raid over with the cruise ship has landed Proxy Raid, and remember, because I know for a fact that I'm like 20 seconds before the raid auto-sends, wherever you are, wherever you may be, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or more, it's been your wonderful windmates, your cruise ship captain, chatreuseproxy, ever at your service. Thank you always, and Zoe, you have 10 seconds before my stream ends.
Oh, that's fine. I think I've decided with the help of Astra. Thank you to you for watching. My name is Zoe, and to end, I'm just gonna say we from now
And ready,
on.
cut off.
Wee!
Rest in peace, my outro.
Oh.
You're not even a streamer!
No!
Double raid? Were you all playing?
You're not even a streamer.
Yes,